What's going on, traders? I hope that you guys enjoyed a little extra pre-market prep charts by Joel Elconin and I. But of course, you know my man Ryan Faluna is ready to go. We also got Nick Brown in the back. Smash the like. Let's get it started. It's live trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, let's get the boys on. We got Ryan Faluna and Nick Brown in the chat. There you go. I'm bringing him in really early, guys. He's going to go ahead and give us some headlines, but I really want to quickly just go through some of my outlook, and then, of course, we'll go to Ryan. We'll do this quickly, right? I'm going to just really quickly cover the swing trades. I have QuantumScape up a pretty significant amount now, almost up about 14% on this position. I'm looking for more, team. I'm looking for this to get above the 8s today. We'll sell some above the 8s, but going to hold the rest for a bigger move. Maybe I'll move to 10. That could be another 23% higher, which would be like close to, let's say, almost 38%. I'll take that anytime. We'll see what happens on QuantumScape if this can keep moving. Of course, got XOM. I do want to let you guys know I covered Chevron completely just to make sure I wouldn't get back to break even and stopped out. Took the profits in Chevron. What is that going to give me? That's going to give me the ability today to let XOM get to the trend line and look for the rejection. I could see it getting to 108, maybe even 108.50s. I'm in at 108.42s. I'm not going to let it get through 109s, but I will give it a little bit of attempt. As I see, if I look at WTI, I just need to keep watch to see it doesn't go through 71 today. It's at 70s. Keep your eyes on it. It did get a spike in the morning. We'll see what happens. PCE report definitely giving stocks a spike today. I have Deere. I have Starbucks still short. And that one probably going to get cut at the open here. Definitely don't want to see it hold 99.30s at the open. We'll see what happens there. That's going to do it for my outlook. I still also have here. This is one that's been pretty good to me, about 2.62%. I do like the daily on this. We'll look to see if it keeps running. And, of course, we'll look to see if the market can keep running up there to 441. The AI bubble is real and continuing. Now to kick it to my man, Ryan. And, of course, if you guys have stocks you guys want to check out, throw it up in the chat.
All right, folks, good morning. Let me go ahead and get myself situated here with all of my different windows. Sorry we started late. All right, first things first is the SPY. We continue our upward trend. I do expect some resistance at this 444, this recent high that we put in on June 15th. We've had low volume days the past couple of days. I'm expecting a low volume day today. The only thing to keep in mind about today is that we are expecting a ruling from the Supreme Court regarding the student loan debt forgiveness. I'm sure Nick's going to go into that, but I just wanted to mention that. That's one of the things I'm going to be waiting for today. I think that we actually might see a sell-off if they do not continue with the forgiveness. So we'll see what happens here. As far as swings go, took a new one yesterday. We got some reports about Airbnb bookings being down. Looks like we kind of ran into this resistance level here. We're trading sideways, but it looks a little toppy. So I actually took a short via puts. I bought the Airbnb August 110 puts. So I'm looking for a move back down to some of these moving averages here. We'll see if that ends up materializing. I'm still in the other swings that I told you about earlier this week. Samsara, IoT, looking for this to move to highs. And also EYPT after the interview yesterday. Definitely like this stock. We'll see what happens if we get to and through that 500-day moving average, which is this purple line here. Now, as far as new issues today, I'm going to go real quick so we can give my man Nick some time to roll through the news here. First one's going to be RNLX. This is Renalytix. Stock here, you can see we popped yesterday. And we are holding some of that up here today. We're actually right above the VWAP. We're right around the VWAP. So this actually might be a good trade right out of the gate. We'll see how it works. We do have a catalyst here. RNLX shares are trading higher after the company received an FDA de novo marketing authorization for its one of its tests, one of its prognosis tests. So FDA in the headline there, that is popping it. Top, our mover from yesterday, maybe continued momentum play today here. They actually released earnings before market today. They're trading higher after the company reported their earnings. There was also an upgrade, if I am not mistaken here. No, I'm sorry. This was just earnings. My apologies. Next is going to be CYT. CYT does have a PR here this morning. We popped as high as 277. We kind of come back in here towards this 250. That PR here, discontinuation of a development program and planned liquidation and dissolution. So this doesn't sound good. I actually have to go through here. I'm kind of surprised as to why this is up, but we'll take a look at that once the market opens when we have a little bit more time. Next is going to be CTMX. They announced a private placement from partners here. They're up 22%. So that's moving here. You want to take a look at the chart. We can see what this looks like. They actually have kind of a stair step all the way up, holding right above the VWAP. A pull down to VWAP would be great for a potential long side trade. BHG, this popped here, but this is really leaking after that pop. I feel like we've traded this before. Catalyst here, Bright Health shares are trading higher after the company agreed to sell its California Medicare Advantage business, Brand New Day and Central Health Plan to Molina Healthcare for $600 million. So that's popping here today. And the last one on the list here is going to be XPEV, and this is the one that had the upgrade. CLSA upgrades XPEV to outperform and gave it a $13 price target, $13.10 price target. So that is up here today as well. All right, Nick, you want to go? You got a screen to share? Do you want me to just do it and kind of drive for you?
I was just going to say, I was going to start with the student loan forgiveness. That decision is expected today.
You know what time by chance?
There is actually, I have been looking around. There has been no time that I've seen. So it's probably going to be maybe 10, 11, 12.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking 10 a.m. Eastern. I was just wondering if you got another time. That's great, though. Thank you.
Yeah, and so this is probably going to be one of their last decisions before they head for summer recess. There's no other word yet on if there's any other decisions coming with the student loan forgiveness. We're going to keep an eye on that. But the Fed's preferred inflation index just came out about 8:30. PC deflator month over month came in at 0.1%. Estimate was for 0.1%. Deflator year over year came in for May at 3.8%. The estimate was for 3.8%. The core deflator for month over month came in at 0.3%. Estimate was for 0.3%. And core deflator year over year for May, 4.6%. Estimate was for 4.7%. So in line with expectations. Apple shares are trading higher this morning at last check, with the stock now above $3 trillion in market capitalization, as Citi initiates a buy and a price target of $240, which is a street high. In that note, Citi says, quote, Apple is navigating the macro slowdown and inflationary pressure on consumer spending by consistently gaining share from Android phones. The street is underestimating continued gross margin expansion. It is important to note that Apple has never officially closed with a $3 trillion market capitalization, as it only has reached it on an intraday basis. Nike posts first earning miss in about 3 years as lower margins hit. Fourth quarter revenue beat Wall Street's estimates, but its profits fell short of expectations. Margins fell about 1.4 percentage points during the quarter. Inventory was flat from the prior year period, but it is still up compared to pre-pandemic levels. During the latest quarter, sales in China rose about 16% year over year to about $1.81 billion, ahead of Wall Street's estimate of $1.68 billion, giving sales a boost. Now, I wasn't on the conference call, but Vital Knowledge's Adam Crisafulli was, and he notes last night that Nike talked a lot on the call about achieving profitable growth going forward and focusing on full price revenue, suggesting a keen emphasis on margins. They note full year 24 outlook is a tiny bit below the street, but Vital Knowledge notes, but it really isn't far from in line, and the FQ1 guidance is light. The Netherlands on Friday announced new export restrictions on advanced semiconductor equipment and U.S. pressure to cut China off from the key chip-making tools. Companies in the Netherlands will need to apply for a license to export certain advanced semiconductor manufacturing equipment overseas. The Netherlands is home to ASML, one of the most important semiconductor companies in the world. ASML makes machinery that is required to make the most advanced chips. And, you know, given it's the last trading day for quarter two, first half of the year, I thought I'd come in with some market facts.
All right.
So these are obtained. I got these off from CNBC, is just because Bespoke and CNBC, a lot of them use the same market facts. So for this month, for the month of June, the S&P 500 has gained about 5.18%. So this is as of Thursday's close, and is on pace for its best monthly performance since January. NASDAQ has been up about 5.07% for the month of June, and both it and the broader market index are heading for a fourth consecutive positive month. And the Dow is the laggard. It's still up about 3.7%, and it's on track for its best month since November. For Q2, S&P 500 has risen just about 7% and is tracking for a third straight quarter. NASDAQ is up big, 11.2% for back-to-back positive quarters. Again, the Dow is the laggard, only up about 2.5%, but it's also on pace for a third winning quarter. And for year to date, in the first half, S&P 500 has popped 14.5%, and it's heading for its best first half since 2018. NASDAQ nearly surged 30% for its best first half since 1983, and the Dow has a more of a modest gain of about 3%.
All right.
That's it. That's for Friday.
Thanks for the market facts. And by the way, one note, I was actually looking it up while you were mentioning, you talked about Apple not ever closing above that mark that gives it that $3 trillion market cap. That price point is 190.73. So we eclipsed that here in the pre-market. It will be interesting to see if we do, in fact, close above that. I think a lot of what this market does is going to hinge on that student loan decision. So we'll see what happens when that gets rolling here.
Yeah,
Nick, thanks very much.
If you were listening to pre-market prep, you heard Dennis really hammering Apple, saying how this stock is up like almost 50% in a year, that you normally don't see stocks that just go straight up, that they have a pullback and then they, tend to move higher. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Apple does when they report earnings in just a few weeks, how China is doing. So there's a lot that's going to be impacting Apple and the more broader stocks that have just soared this year without doing a healthy pullback.
You mean like NVIDIA?
Yes.
Yeah, there are going to be a couple of those. And like I said, there's a lot of air under some of these. So if we do get a pronounced sell-off, I'm going to let Dennis stick to shorting Apple. I've been a long-term Apple bull. I think it's the best company in the world. It's the strongest stock in any stock market. And I'm still long. I'm still on. I think my cost adjusted basis is something in the 20s now because of the splits, which is really cool. So good stuff there, Nick. I would say if you want to jump on at any point today to deliver any more breaking news, please feel free to do so. We'll get you on as soon as we see you in here. Any other final thoughts before you head off to your weekend?
I was going to say, it's just very interesting to see a lot of the people, a lot of the equity research companies trying to catch up with their price targets. And so it's going to be very interesting to see where the second half of the year is. Just a reminder that Tom Lee is probably one of the most bullish on the streets for this year with an S&P target of like 4750. But it is very interesting to see Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and all these other companies rushing to upgrade targets on Apple, like Citi today. On the S&P 500. It'd be very interesting to see if next year, if they just put a target for the year and just left it, to see how they would react instead of just trying to rush and upgrade every time there's a mistake. Other than that, it's going to be very close to earnings season here in just a few weeks. Banks kick it off, I believe, July 18th. I'm going to see how the banks do. We are supposed to be actually getting some prepared buybacks and dividend plans. I think tonight after the close, after the Fed stress bank test, all 23 banks passed. So we're going to be able to watch those in the next few weeks and to see when they report earnings, what the buybacks and the total share repurchases are going to look like.
Okay, awesome stuff, Nick. The market is about to open. Let's find some trades and make some money today. Again, Nick, if you ever need to jump back in here, please feel free to do so. We'll get you on and do those news drops. We'll call them Nick Bombs.
Works.
All right, Nick.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you.
See ya.
A Nick
to the
Bomb
markets we go.
Here on a Friday.
To the markets we go. Let's get after it, team. What are you guys looking out there? If you guys see anything move fast, let me know, because I'm looking. SoFi on the radar today for a $9 pop. Just be careful out there, team. Of course, the news could come at any moment, and that stock is going to move with that news. That's why I've been talking about it all month long for all you SoFi investors out there to know that this day was coming, and it was supposed to come this month. Well, it's the last day of the month, so let's see if they at least bring it out today. If not, give us some announcements, something, right? We'll see if SoFi gets above 9. That's the interesting level for the pop.
All right, out of the gate here, watching top moving to the highs here. Not in that at all. I'm going to be a little safe here. RNLX looks like this might be moving up.
Out of Starbucks out the gates here. just took out the swing. Took a little bit of a hit there. Lost about $1 on the shares. All right, looking around here, SPY right at the top, pulled back a little bit here out the gates. Just going to keep an eye on it to see if we start seeing some pullback in the market. But really, I'm looking to see if we can continue driving higher. And it just seems to me like this bubble wants to keep staying strong. Nike crossing down through a trend line that I was looking at. Nike pulling right back down. Of course, they reported their earnings wasn't the best there, team. All right, trying to get trade to pool opened up here. Get going on the prop. Yesterday, I did finish red in the prop, guys. It was just that type of day where I felt like I kept getting close to break even, but couldn't get into the green. Those are easily types of days that we can overtrade. Yesterday was a day that I would say I overtraded. I took probably about 2 or 3 extra trades that I probably should have just said, you know what? It's not my day. Call it a day. And that's what's important to understand, that you got to try to develop rules that will keep you pushing forward, right?
All right, I'm still watching RNLX in case this recovers here. No position yet. I haven't taken any new positions here, just kind of watching the market shake out. My Airbnb short not going well. Down quite a bit actually here. We'll see if Airbnb turns around. I would imagine that's going to react to the SCOTUS decision as well. Don't really see anything else. CBay popping to the highs here, but that didn't look tradable. Top moving back towards the highs.
Skechers actually going up out the gates here.
BXRX for you penny players in there. Frey higher. We traded this yesterday. We'll see if Frey can actually break the pre-market high here. 966 on Frey.
All right, guys, I'm going short Skechers. Skechers.
That's sketchy.
5041 there in the prop account. And I'll show you guys that if you guys want. Like, you can see it here. It's filled order right there. 5041. And the big thing is Nike coming down. This popping up right before the open. So what I got to do is just, I'm going to hold it pretty close here. I don't want to see it, like, let's say, go through the next resistance, which is right above it, of like 63s. So I can set a stop like even at 70 and just risk about $30 here to look to make, like, I can see it going down to 49, which would be a big move there. That'd be about $1.40.
JJ asking, Ryan, did I hear you say short? Are you shorting now? JJ, I took Airbnb short yesterday ahead of the close via puts. So I bought the August 110 puts in Airbnb. I'm down about 19% here today. So nice little push up out of the market here for Airbnb. But I'm okay with that. I paid $269. Nice for the contracts. They're down at about $215 right now. I think I'd probably cut these at $150 and look for a re-entry there if that doesn't work out. But yes, short Airbnb via the August 110 puts.
NVIDIA strong here out the gates. That's one stock to watch today. I definitely think that could get moving right back to the upside. I know the dailies has the 9 EMA to recover. I'm looking for pullbacks to that. It's around 415. So we just pulled back to 415 right now. 415 right on the dot on the 5-minute, and we went right back up here. Let's see if we can come back to like 1450 here. Doesn't look too bad on NVIDIA. I might take a shot on this.
All right, I am taking a shot here on Frey, smaller position. Want to see if we break the top off and go here.
Love to hear it, man. I still have QS, and that's doing well. So I'm looking for a pop above 8. So I can't blame me for the Frey outlook. I like the Frey outlook, even maybe getting back to 10.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, I liked it.
Frey coming back in towards VWAP now. All I had to do was buy it. Man, big pullback here in Frey.
All right, looking at like the Qs here and
My God,
Qs are
what
to
a
the
bad
top
buy.
here. up there towards 368s. We'll see what happens on Costco today. Here, I'll show you guys the cues here. Cues trying to push there towards 368. Costco is one of the top leading stocks there. I'm looking at Datadog getting a lift here. CrowdStrike, Paycheck, DXCM, ATVI getting a little bit of a push. ATVI's announcement could come at any point. I think this one is going to get the announcement and could close up to this gap, maybe the 85s, 86. But man, it's been starting to slowly climb. Adobe's one that could get a nice little uplift today. I'm looking for pullbacks to 484. Let's see if we get this pullback to 484 on Adobe.
Holy crap. This was such a bad buy on Frey. I can't believe I'm taking a hit this bad out of the open. Just an absolutely awful way to start the day. Holy smokes. That thing just got absolutely wrecked as soon as I bought it.
It's all good. Sometimes, you know, we all make mistakes, man.
Yeah, that was really, really bad. Hopefully nobody followed into that.
All right, Adobe pulling back here. I'm looking for 484s on the pullback. Got to be careful because I got to risk about maybe $2.
Holy shit. All right, stopped out of Frey for a monster loss out of the open. Holy cow. Probably not my day here today.
Trying to get 481.01s right now. It just tapped it. No fill there yet. Tried to get filled there on Adobe on the pullback for the VWAP. It's already kicking off a bit. Let me see if I can get filled on this pullback here. Looking to get Adobe long. Yeah, man, no worries. It happens to the best of us, man.
Yeah, I mean that was just awful. You couldn't have done it any worse than I did it right there. That's really what this comes down to. And to start the day with that, it's just God, that's
really
sucks.
Frustrating.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does suck. And you know, one of the things that we just got to always keep in mind, right? What's the most important thing about trading? We say it all the time. Risk preservation, right? And I think that that's one thing that we just got to learn from.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I said it when the show started, right, Ryan? I overtraded yesterday, and I did the same thing. I went over too much risk on one day, right? I gave back. I did about 5 days of gains, and I gave back about like 2 days when I just only want to give back about 1 day. Like it's always about like understanding the risk to reward, right? And I think that's so important. Just got hit there on Skechers. Skechers making that little uplift, so took a little bit of a $32 hit there. Not too bad. I mean, I'll take that $32 hit anytime. It's not the biggest deal. But I'm looking for this Adobe buyback on the pullback, but no fill there on the VWAP. I had the order out there, just didn't get filled there through the 484s. So a little bit frustrating not to get filled, and it's back up there to 486 because I would have had what 50 shares, 10 shares there. And then I was going to get a little bit more down there. Now it's right back up to the high. That's a little frustrating there on Adobe. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. That was a nice little buy there I wanted, but just didn't get the buy there. We'll see if NVIDIA can pull back, and I can maybe try to get NVIDIA, but no fill there on Adobe. That's a little frustrating one. We'll see what happens if it does pull back here. SOXL pulling back, man. This does actually look like an opportunity. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. Let's see where this could pull back on the day. This could pull back significantly on the day towards like maybe even 24.25 before it really wants to come back. It just went to 24.29. Doesn't look too bad here if I could get it back towards 35 to 36. But we got to be careful for a little bit more pullback in SOXL. But I kind of like this. Down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3, up 3. I'm going to look for it to kind of come back here towards the support, see if it breaks down back below the VWAP one more time, this 34, and then look for a little bit of a push back there towards the 2460s. AMB is one that I could keep an eye on. I know that one has pulled back significantly. This could get running today. I actually like this outlook here already. I'm just missing it right now. I just saw it up there towards 113. So let's see if it can come back below 113. And I'm going to look for this nice little cut down into the 112.90s, 112.80s. Anywhere in that space there, I'm going to look to try to get long on AMD somewhere in this space, right? Well, I'll see if I can get the pullback. I already missed this move, I feel like a little bit, but I don't jump into a trade like that. I can't buy the high, because if I buy the high right there and it comes right back into this box, I'm down 40 cents immediately. So let's see if I can get this pullback buy, but I like AMD here setting up for a little bit of a push. Adobe pulled back, but still not towards that 484. Still looks strong. I can't get it, though. I'm going to move on from that one right now. All right, Coin SEC news hitting it. Ooh, what's going on in Coin? Getting smacked right now. Ooh, can it come bouncing here? I'll short it off 72.50s. Should I just short off 70? That's the hard part. I don't short into weakness. That's the harder move there. It's shorting right there at 70. I saw it for a second, but I'm like, man, that's just asking for it to come right back here to 72. So I'm going to look for a move back to 72, and then I could start getting short on Coin. But I need to look up the news also. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Of course, I'll use Benzinga Pro for that. Try to find out what's going on in Coin.
I took some RNLX while you were talking there. 289 for this pop and this move here. Cannot let this trade go red on me.
All right, we'll see if Coin bounces back. You guys let me know. I'm also looking for that AMD pullback. We went to 113.10 right there. Didn't get into the 113s, and it's all the way back already to 113.33s. So I might not be able to get this AMD move today. Yeah, it just looks too strong. I'm not going to be able to get that pullback. SOXL also taking off here, guys. I'm being a little slow here. AMD looked good. I like that move there, but I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback here towards the 112.80s. Can I get it?
RNLX touched 3 there.
Oh, pullback, man, on that AMD. It looks strong, but I just can't buy on the highs. Just not the way I do things. So I'll look at the 5-minute. You see, like this makes sense for me if it can come back into this space here.
RNLX back up at 3 here. There's some size at 3. If they take it, it should pop. There we go. RNLX. I'll take that off. At least we got some of the claw back here. Got some green on the screen after my disaster at the beginning here.
Hey.
Holy smokes, man. There's a huge pop in RLNX. Should have just stayed in there, man. I'll tell you something. Smoke Tuna was saying it earlier. This is a psychological game. And when you start like that, you are playing from behind. You are playing from behind. Left a ton of profit on the table there.
You know, it's one trick that I've learned, and there's an important thing that I've learned from here. It's how do we create something that brings redirection? So this is what you need to, like, this is what I've learned and tried to improve on, right? What can I do to redirect my mentality, my thinking, to get back into the focus, back into the zone? There has to be something. Whatever that is, find out what that is for yourself. Is that
green on the screen? That's what it is, Mitch, because the easiest way to forget about a bad trade is making a good one right after it.
There you go. There you go, man. And I think that it's important, right? We got to find what that is. What that redirection is so important. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's just go to pet your dog. It could be as simple as that.
Buddy's actually been screaming this morning. He's locked in my bedroom right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, like to me, like I have like 2 dogs. I have one that's a little crazier than the other, but Marley really calms me down. And if I just go to Marley and just kind of like, just pet him for a little bit, I get focused again. And I think that everyone needs that.
Yeah,
just ripping there, man.
I clawed back a quarter. I clawed back a quarter of the loss that I took, so that's the positive here. But I probably could have got back half of it if I had just stayed in it for a little bit.
Just missing this rip.
As Dave is saying, on to the next. We're on to the next at this point.
All right.
Top pulling back. BXRX for you penny players. This is actually a decent setup here if this can curl and move through. I'd actually really like to see it take out 70, but 68 first here on BXRX.
AMD, man, what a rip that I just missed, guys. I missed it by like just getting to it like 1 second late, but look at this rip. Look at this rip. Oh man, that would have been a nice little push here off the VWAP. It did do the VWAP bounce too. I like when stocks do that little bounce there. Held the 113.20s, pull back to the 9 EMA up there to 113.80s now. NVIDIA pushing strong too. You guys know I mentioned that as one of the stocks that I think could run the most on the day. It's up there now to 420.25s. I don't have a position, but man, missing this. SoxL ripping higher there. Boom. Nice little push up on that one. That was a really nice pullback right out the gates. It gave you a nice little opportunity by coming back to support and then seeing it bounce up a nice, 50 cents? Nice little bounce there in SoxL. The Qs overall now turning around, pulling back. Maybe we get a little bit of some VWAP attempts here. I would love to see some, but it's been a strong day overall, guys. Be careful out there. There are some strong stocks to the upside, especially shorters out there. Be careful. CCL continuing to the upside. So I'm looking through stocks out there. Dexcom having a decent day. Netflix pushing strong on the day. So definitely keep your eyes on that one. And of course, Tesla does have deliveries on July 2nd. It's actually pushing right now. As you guys see it get up there to 262. We'll just keep running on the day. We'll see what happens.
Big knife here in RNLX. Jay saying I'm trimming some of those INMD calls. If you remember correctly, that was a Jason pick on some of the semaglutide injections and all of that. Let me get my screen up here, Mitch. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So it looks like Jay trimming some of those. Looks like it's at a potential breakout point here on INMD, but nice job paying yourself on the way up.
Firm coming back. That looks interesting for me as it starts to come back here. Yeah, Firm pushing strong right now, but it's already getting there towards VWAP.
BTAI might pop here.
Looking around for some trades. How's Carvana doing? Carvana ripped. It did that red to green. Nice big move candle.
Bitcoin, huge move down, although it is starting to bounce here. Dumb money with Raz name. Oh, that's good. BTAI spiked up to 7, but couldn't take it out. That would be the spot to watch, in my opinion. On BTAI. A little bit of size here at 688. We'll see if they can clear that out.
I don't want to talk about it, but Ray's trying to recover VWAP over here.
Yeah, there's no way I could have held it. I mean, it was just a straight down move that just shook me out. There's just no way. I mean, it was just a horrific trade. That's you just got to be honest. Got to be honest at that point.
Yeah. The thing that's making me look at it is the 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart pull back to a 942 now is holding pretty well. And so I can maybe risk off that 942 here. If I did grab it, it'd be a move to 10 that I'm looking for. Could do also QS, right? QS moved for 8. That's another option. But I have QS in my swing account, so that's another reason why I'm not looking at it. Deer working well for me. There's Frey now towards 956. Should I go for maybe even a Moo trade on that one? Moo. Where's the wall? The wall's at 990. So there's a nice wall at 990 for Frey. I'd look for maybe pullbacks here to 945 if I wanted to take a shot there with Moo.
I want to get it back. It's always a washout to take your money. You got that right. That's what's tough about day trading.
Yeah, that's the tough part, and why the sizing sometimes matters so much, right?
Yeah.
That's why.
I mean, I was doing it. I was going small, but the move down was so big, and I didn't have stop set. I was just kind of mentally watching it, thinking it would bounce there, and there was just no bounce for an entire 70 cents.
Yeah.
So you just had to take the L and move on.
Yeah, that's when I sometimes, you guys hear me when I say risk, and there's this thing that I sometimes call ultimate risk in a trade. So there's like a risk that you're establishing, right? That's like the planned attack. Sometimes you're going to get these moves that give you a little bit of a wick through that planned attack. And I've learned to have an ultimate risk. So a risk is on a standard trade, let's say it was $50. The ultimate risk there being like 75, right? Like, so there's a point where it's like at no return. If that dot hits, I have to get out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm playing price action, right? And there was no bounce. There were no buyers. Everything was a sell order. Everything coming across the tape was a sell order, and I'm just
add that like hit bid -3 and hope.
Yeah,
that you got to fill there. That's the only way to maybe get to fill out. You
LILM, by the way, this was a smoke tuna call from earlier. This pushing higher here. Nice little breakout of that 161 spot on LILM.
Guys, this is a weird swing, but I just have this feeling that it can hold this 88 support, and it's been there like 4 or 5 times now. So I'm going to take a shot off the 88s, like 87 area on Disney, swing trading it though. I'm swing trading. I just grabbed some at 89.13s there, but I'm not a big Disney fan here, but at the end of the day, hey man, I see a chart when I see a chart. And there's about 1, 2, 3, 4 bottoms on that. I'll give you guys my other chart so you guys can see it there. But I pull it up here. I'm looking at Frey on that pullback for Moo. But you see it's coming back here through the 89s. It did a move to 88s. And then if you take a look here on like the 1 month chart or like the weekly chart, you guys can see there's a lot of bottoming in this 88 level. So if it comes through 88, yeah, I'll probably get out of the trade. But at least I know my out, right? And then that's the important part here. I could see a move back to 94, and that's a 5-point move up. And all I'm risking here is what, about 1.5. So, all right. We'll see what happens here.
Raz, Airbnb trading up, trading against me. That seems to be the theme of the morning here. But again, I definitely, I don't want to necessarily stop out of that just yet. I still got some more room on the contracts in case it continues to push up. I really think that this might react to the student loan decision.
Hyatt trading up a little bit today. I'm keeping my eyes on Marriott. I talked about Marriott, Hyatt, and Hilton. So those are trading higher. And of course, that would probably affect Airbnb to the upside too. So I like Hilton's move here too. I'm thinking about taking a swing on this. This looks pretty good here on the weeklies also. So I could go off the weeklies. Risk would be off probably like 140 because I'm not going to risk that much because Hilton doesn't move that much. But it looks nice.
I see Disney on your screen here. One thing to keep in mind about Disney, on Happy Hour, we recently outlined a short setup on Disney. Indiana Jones is tanking. It was $300+ million to make, drew only $60 million. The last movie, The Elemental, the Pixar combo, that tanked. So a couple of really bad movies in a row here for Disney, kind of leading to that go woke, go broke thesis. And that was a short trade, short thesis that was put on in the Happy Hour crew.
I'll just say, if that's the thesis for all the trades, especially on a company like Disney, I think
there was a technical setup as well.
Yeah, the thing is, if anything, I see a technical bounce setup here on Disney. At least I
didn't take it.
I'll just say, like, this is as rule of 3 as it is from any time, right? So to me, this is just rule of 3 outline. So you guys see it here in November, the spike down. I'll put circles on it so you guys can see it. 1, 2, 3. And what does my rule of 3 say? 3 attempts to the support, I look for one more breakdown there. One more attempt. This is that attempt to breakdown. So now as long as it can come back up here into this space, I see bottoming action. So, I mean, can it work out? Yeah, but that to me seems like some pretty strong bottoming action here in the 88s. That doesn't look like a bearish move to me. The only time that I can see this as bearish is if I look at the weekly and I think about this as a bear candle, a bear flag. If you think about that as a bear flag, then yeah, you could look at that as kind of being the breakdown spot. But it's still, it would be like resistance, support, still an important level to look off of right now. So I got no problem taking a risk on that and seeing if it comes up. It's not a bad looking stop. All right, let's keep looking around, team. I'm looking for some pullbacks to get in, but it's just been that type of day where I'm not getting much pullback. If you guys see anything, let me know. Now we're starting to get a little bit of a pullback on NVIDIA. AMD's pulling back pretty quick here, back towards 113s. So I'm going to look to see if we can get to the 12s, and then I'll start sizing in here. 113, hitting right on the dot. 90s, just grabbed a little bit. Grabbed a little bit more. Now I have 100 at 113. This is a quick pullback, so be careful out there, team. But I am trying to get in. I have some AMD now. At least 100. I'm trying to see if it goes back into the 80s here. It is pulling back fast, so be careful out there, team. See if this holds. I'll show you guys that right there. So that's kind of like the pattern that I'll look to hold here around the 113, 112, 90s, and then it comes right back up. There's a dip to the low 90s. Nice recovery.
IMAX breaking out of its pre-market high.
I added some there. I have 150 at 113. It's back to 113.20s. Just got to stay in the battle today. Keeping an eye on this AMD now. Nice little bounce there. Looking for the VWAP bounce to just come up through the 113.50 area. Nice little bounce there. Let's see if it holds 113.10s on pullbacks. That's what I'm looking at on AMD. What's going on with Frey here?
Frey is 960. Pretty much came all the way back.
No 45 attempt yet. Did pull back towards like that 50 area. Still looks strong. Just didn't get a chance to get in it on the Mumu account. All right, so let's look around. Let's go to the Explore tab. How are we looking in the heat map? Oof, look at that green.
Yeah.
AMD back to 113.40s. That's looking good for me on that pullback buy.
As far as Frey goes, that 965 spot, if they can pop that, that's what I was trying to play for earlier when it just completely tanked. But if it can pop that, maybe it goes.
All right, trying to see if this candle can go from a red candle to a green candle on AMD's 5-minute. There it goes to green. Now let's see if it holds 113.20 pullback here or takes off through the 113.80s. I'm looking for that takeoff through the 113.80s.
RNLX trying to bounce here, but I don't trust that move. Not yet, anyway.
I'll sell half if it gets to that 113.80s. 60s here showing up on AMD. I'm up about 60 cents, 64 cents now. Just looking for a little bit more pop there. Then I'll sell half. 70s still looks good there too, so I might just reduce this to 70s. I'm willing to take some here at 70s on the offer. Come on, get through that 70.
There goes Frey through the 65.
All right, got some out there, took some profits. So now in the green, took about $50 on that. Now got AMD from 113, looking for the real breakout here on AMD. Looking good. Let's see if I get that breakout through the 113.80s area. So I paid myself now to be able to hold on break even at 113 and look for the real break. All right, let's look around here. Let's see NASDAQ continuing higher, SPY continuing higher. Pretty much an all-out rally right now. Where do I see red?
Yeah.
Not much around, guys. So this is that type of day where you got to be careful, especially like energy. Energy is going strong even against me. So even that's staying strong. So it just seems like it's an all-out rally right now. Let's go to technology, which is the leading sector, and let's take a look at the leading industries there. Leading industries, computer systems, software, and solar. Solar is an interesting one. We saw that up in the pre-market. FTCI getting some lift. JKS Array getting some lift there. That's still looking strong there in solar. EMPH looks interesting for a 163 break there. SEDG right near the VWAP. That looks interesting for me here. We'll see if that takes off to 265. Going back to AMD to focus. All right, guys, if you guys see any trades and you want me to put up some here on the multiple chart outlook, let me know, guys. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I got AMD on the bottom left, Starbucks to the right here. I can put the Qs. The Qs are on the top left. Let's put Frey maybe here on the bottom right. If you guys see any smaller name moving, let me know. All right, what else is being called out in the chat? ALVO. Let me take a look at that. 718s. Or 780s there. You go to like a 15-minute chart here. It's 5 minute. Let's go to 5 minute. All right, that's not moving too much there, that ALVO. But if you guys got any, you guys let me know. Boeing mentioned in the chat. Pullback, big pullback on that one. AMD got up there to 113.83, so looking for a little bit more run there if I can get it, but if not, just going to take the profits here and run. I'd also be willing to take the profits, if anything, because we could always have turnarounds. 113.50s, I want that to hold, maybe 45, so I'll just take 113.40s no matter what. So a little bit of like kind of that trailing stop action. That's what I've been trying to do a little bit more of to make sure I stay with the profits.
ATXG open, and that popped into another halt. That just straight up into another halt. Holy smokes. It's Crow's reaction to it summarizes it perfectly. Just straight up laughter. That was open, pop, huge pop, rehalt. ATXG.
ATXG.
Yep, that's a big mover there.
980s. Woo-hoo. That's a crazy one there. All right, we just went up there to the 70s, now rejecting it. So going to look to see, this is now the rule of three kind of playing in there. And so now going to look to see if it can hold the pullback to 9 EMA, which is the 53s. So I can actually move my stop up to the 50s. If that goes hits, I don't mind it because I'll take the 50s. I think it could pull back all the way to the VWAP, which is 113.10s, 113.20s, and that would just give up my gains. So I just want to stay with the gains today, get myself deeper into the green, and then give myself a cushion on the day to keep swinging. All right, what's going on out there, guys? I'm looking also for a Mumu trade. All right, so Nick wants to come in here and give us a little bit of an update here. We got University of Michigan just a little while ago.
Yes, I don't know. Did you guys cover the SEC news with the Wall Street Journal report that just broke within the past 20 minutes?
Nick.
Nope. What is it?
Fill us in, my friend. Fill us in. Give us a little news update. We're here trading. We're in the trade desk, in the trade cave. You let us know what's going on in the news.
So the Wall Street Journal was reporting that the Securities and Exchange Commission said in a recent wave of applications filed by asset managers to launch spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds are inadequate, according to people familiar with the matter. The SEC tells the NASDAQ, the CBOE, that recent spot Bitcoin ETF filings from BlackRock, Fidelity, and others aren't clear and comprehensive. Within the last few minutes, there has been a headline that just crossed the wires with U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren questioning Goldman Sachs is profiting from Silicon Valley bank failure, working to see what that report is, working to see what that letter is, and I'll report back once I get some more information, hopefully within the next hour. Within the meantime, University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment just released their survey, came in at 64.4. The estimate was for 63.9 and previously was 59.2. The U.S. June Michigan one-year inflation expectations, 3.3%. The estimate was for 3.3%. Previously came at 4.2%. The U.S. June Michigan five-year expectation for inflation came in at 3%. Estimate was for 3%. Previous was for 3.1%. Stocks right now are trading higher given all the recent positive sentiment, as today is the last day of the trading day for first half of the year, Q2. As we head into Q3, Q4, going to be watching inflation, how the Fed, if they hike 2 more times, 3 more times, what the latest expectation is. As you've heard, Jerome Powell has signaled at least 2 more rate hikes are possible on the table. Going to see what this student loan decision is going to be coming any minute now, as we are starting to get some more Supreme Court cases. So, Ryan, I did want to say 10 a.m. was the slot time is what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Going to try and see here, as I'm right here. I don't see any decisions yet regarding this, but once I do, I'll hang out backstage. And as soon as it comes, I'll gather some information and report back.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, that's another Nick bomb coming in.
We're going to keep dropping them.
Yeah, man. Let's keep it going here, guys. Also looking at SoFi. Where's the walls on that? 906. There's a huge wall at 906 there. But looking to see, and I can see what? I can see some volume there at the 880s, 9s. They just can't take it through because there's this huge walls on SoFi. So that's where it gets a little bit worrisome. There's a lot. You can see here on this distribution chart, low green. Look at this wall of red. How you have a sea of red to climb there on SoFi. So I'm actually going to leave SoFi alone today, guys. AMD hitting me there on that pullback. It got up there, it looked like it wanted to break, and then it came right back down, guys. So I'm taking the cash and running on that. Now I'm $53 in the green, even though we took a hit, right? One trade gets me back not only to break even, but in the green. Very important to notice that, right? Because that's what you want to be doing, right? So we lost about 31. And what do we make here? We make about $83 here, $84. And that's what we want to be thinking about, right? Risk to reward is so important. When you keep that in mind, what you're going to do is you're going to keep mathematical probability in your favor. So important, traders. Do you really have a mathematical edge? Just ask yourself that. And if you're not, that's why I try to trade consistently with that edge, right? I can't always be 3-1 or 4-1. Sometimes it's going to go a little tighter, but I always try to keep always that at least close to that move so that I have some mathematical probability in my favor, which is so important, team. Try to ask yourself and look at your trading. Are you keeping that in mind? I think it's so important. It's going to keep you going, man.
I'm watching CTMX here on a possible move through the VWAP. CTMX, Charlie Tango, Mike X-Ray. Just took out 166. 167 is your VWAP. We'll see if they can actually take that. Might get a little pop above here and move on CTMX.
All right. Want to see if the Qs could pull back to the VWAP now. That's what I would like to see, just because I'm not in any plays, but that could just keep running on the day. Soxel made a move there from around the 2440s to 2490s, now pulling back. I'd like to see that come to 2450s. We'll see what happens on stocks like NVIDIA. If that could pull back there towards like 417, I'd definitely try to join the party, but we'll find out. It made a nice little run today, NVIDIA. We'll look to see if these stocks continue running on the day. And of course, I'm seeing some SoFi pulling back now back below 9. It did do a quick move above 9 and then pulled back. We'll look to see if we see a wick to the downside on SoFi. That's something that I'm keeping an eye out for. Man, look at this. Look at this heat map. Woo-hoo! Moo Moo coming in today, guys. You guys check that out. Of course, I love their heat map, and definitely you guys can get this for yourself, right? Maybe just get the tools for yourself. Check out Moo Moo. Hit that QR code, and of course, I'll throw out the link in the chat there. Man, I've been battling in the small account, taking a little bit of an up down right now. I'm at 579, so I still have a day trade today. Let's see what I can get into in a little bit here in the Moo Moo account.
And for my Moo Moo account, I'm at 552. I have all 3 day trades, but I'm just trying to be
the battle's on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be, conservative, right? I'm trying to not get myself in positions where I'm taking bigger losses. That was one of the things that really drew my account down the first time that I had it above 600. So what I'm trying to do is actually learn from that mistake, find things that are a little bit more conservative, easier to play. And I don't have anything yet. So when I do, I'll let you know.
Definitely, man. Smash the like out there, team. All right, we'll see what else is going on. Let's keep it going. Let's see if I can get an NVIDIA pullback here. Looking for some kind of pullback in the market. Looking to see if we can get some of these Qs to pull back here. Give me an opportunity to get back into the names. Of course, AMD is pulling back now. I'm looking for a move back towards where I got in, which is around that 112.90s, 112.80s area. Because if I get in here on the VWAP, I could easily just wash out to that number. Boeing trying to recover a little bit here. I do see healthcare and technology as the 2 leading sectors. Energy still up, so I'm going to keep an eye on XOM to see if that goes up towards 108. It's still staying strong on the day. All right, looking around to see what else is moving here. QS, how's that moving? Ooh, almost there through 8. I definitely want to see that pop there through that 8 and see if it can keep running on the day. It's already made a good move in the pre-market. All right, guys, pinkies on up, guys. Get a little OJ in you. It's time to keep going here. We're going to keep battling. All my swing trades in the green. So that looks good for me. I'm going to keep riding, baby. Keep riding. All right, let's keep going. The Q's grinding higher and just not even pulling back to the VWAP. So it's going to be hard to jump on trades like that. AMD pulled back here. Hasn't come actually to the VWAP. So I'm looking to see if maybe it gets a little bit of a VWAP push. But right now, pulling back still. See if I can get this 113 attempt, like 113.15, 113.10s. I'll take a shot there. It's holding off 113.30s right now. Doesn't want to break it. It's done about like 3 or 4 wicks there on AMD. So you guys see it there. Also down on this bottom right chart here, bottom left chart. CXAI having a decent day today. Affirm having a decent day. That was one that I wanted to keep an eye out for. Now it's coming back through the VWAP. This is one I'll keep an eye out for. A nice little run here. Affirm. I'd have to risk off kind of like the 65 or 60 mark here, but I don't mind it as it starts to come back up through the VWAP. Yeah, I like this off 65s. I'm going to go ahead and try to get 200 here. All right, just took 200 there of Affirm at 74s. Looking for a little bit of a pullback towards 70 or 68 and then risking off 60s. To add a little bit on a pullback here. Let's see if I can get that pullback fill. I'll put 67 for another 200. See if I can get the pullback, and then I'm looking for a little bit of a takeoff. All right, going after a little bit of a firm in the prop. We'll see what happens there, and I can definitely look at it also in the Moo, but really for the Moo, I like something a little bit cheaper here. I'm also taking a look at like an Upstart. I know that one's right off VWAP. That one looks interesting, and these are the type of stocks that I think can move today, right? Like those growth names, ARKK names, probably getting some lift. We can take a look at that. Twist, DNA's and $1.88 stock that I do think could just stair step its way higher today. So I'll keep an eye on that one. Square making a move. Roblox making a move up higher. What about Palantir bouncing a little bit? This doesn't look too bad on this pullback towards 1545 on the daily. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Would need to hold about 1540 for me and recover right back above the VWAP, but It's not the worst looking chart there on Palantir. I'll look to see if this can start coming back here through the VWAP.
Raz, that is a faux pas. Jason would be incredibly disappointed that you mistyped Apple's ticker. Apple is AAPL.
SoFi trying to recover 9. Just when we'll keep the eyes on that, of course, all throughout the day. Thinking about Palantir here off the 1535 for even the Moomoo account. I have taken a big gain on with Palantir before. That was back when it was like at 10. Let's see if it can get above the 1550s, because I just want to start seeing it get towards the VWAP. Getting a firm to pull back here, it's probably going to go ahead and get me that fill, and then I just got to go ahead and make sure that I set up the risk.
ATXG 12 prints on this. This is nuts. Crow, are you in this? Did you actually trade this? Absolutely crazy. I saw no way to enter that.
All right, guys, setting up here for a trade on a firm. Got here 1571s, 400 shares. Going to risk off to 59 here. If it just pulls back and stops me out, it can pull back and stop me out. Q's up there and now kind of peaking up a little bit there. I'm just looking to see if a firm can make a move back above the VWAP. They'll want it to break the 60s here, so that's why I put 59s. I think it could hit 60, but just slightly below there, I'll get out.
Mitch, your QS is breaking out.
There you go. That's what I like to hear, man. That's a swing, and I'm looking for a move above 8 on that. Where's the move on to? There's 803. I'll look for that to continue a little bit more, and then I'm going to take some profits here because I'm already up like 15.6% on that. So that's kind of one of those that I'm looking to continue moving with Toyota Motors, and that's why I got into that. That's a solid state battery type of play. All right, Deere is the one that's really doing well for me too. This looks good off the 406 for a move back towards 408. See what happens there. Let's see if the market can stay strong, man. It's been strong all day.
This is nuts. This is just nutty strength.
Yeah, it could pull back to the VWAP, but man, really good strength. That PCE report just it reignited this move, man. We're at 443 on the SPY, Ryan.
I know. It's crazy. I think it's
the bubbles is real, man. The bubble. It's real. All right, looking to see if a firm can rebound here and just get back up there. Doesn't look good right now, but it just held the 60s. Don't want to see it go through that 60. If it goes through that 60, I'm definitely getting out. Find out. Affirm. You gonna affirm me? Buy now, pay later. I'm trying to buy now and get paid right now. Oh man, we'll see what happens on the firm. Can I get the lift here? All right, Q's overall. At least I got some volume on that recent pullback there. Q's taking another push here to the 370s. That might help me out. AMD never came back towards that 113.30s. Just playing around here. Looking like it wants to make the move higher. Has the rule of 3 on the kind of like the 1 minute. I'm looking at the 5 minute too. Doesn't look bad at all as long as it doesn't break 113.40s now. AMD staying strong on the day. NVIDIA 422s now. At least I'm glad I mentioned NVIDIA before the open today. I was actually thinking of when the PCE report came out of buying NVIDIA in the pre-market with my Moomoo account.
Hang on, Mitch. Can you put the QR code up for Glenn?
Yes,
he asked like 4 times and we all missed it.
Oh, we're asleep, man. I'm sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how to put it up either. Glenn, we got you, man. We got you. Just give us a sec. A lot going on today.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot going on with the trading action, so that'll take 2 seconds, literally. There you go. It's coming up in the chat right now.
No, he wants the link. He wants the affiliate link.
That's it, man. It's right here. Boom. QR code does the same, and also just to mention, description below it's in the description below. But I also can put the QR code top right corner. You can scan the screen. There's the link in the chat. And like always, right now, they got a couple of different rewards. If you do a deposit of at least $100, you can get 5 free stocks, 100 cash reward, and a free share of C3 AI. What? Check out the rewards too. They have great promotions. I know it's June, so you got to get it pretty quickly because July will have different promotions. But stay tuned, guys. All right, we'll affirm. Give me that lift. It's back there towards 65s. Got up there to 69 mark. Just hasn't broken back out here. I'm just staying in it for right now, but I don't know. I would like to see it get through 75s and 85s, and I think it could get to 16. 16 is a good little spike level. See if it does get that level up there.
BXRX, nice job, Crow. This finally went. You were all over this. Big pop here on BXRX.
BXRX, nice little pop there. Market keeps doing this like kind of pop and slow down, pop and slow down. So just be careful for quick pullbacks. More bottoming action there on Palantir. Ooh, just got cut there in Affirm. So back to like pretty much break even, down about like $4. So it took a little bit more of a hit there, like about 56. But it was a quick cut through. So I got some slippage. Affirm pulling back there. We're going to probably get a pullback here. It looks like in the Qs. I'm going to look for that little pullback. I'll look to see if how far we pull back to see if we take some shots right back to the upside. NVIDIA climbing still. Tesla got up there to 263 today. Take a look at Apple. Apple to 193s today. What a move there. Microsoft 242. Google pushed. It seemed like in everything kind of rally, at least from the bigger stocks.
Yeah, I mean, this entire market is just melting up. Really tough to be short right now. Really tough to be short.
Intel looking interesting here. A lot of bottoming on that chart. Looks like it wants to start making a little bit of a move up again. Ooh, do I take a swing in Intel? I mean, don't look bad. Have to risk off the 33s here, which is pretty tight. I like that. Yeah, let's swing trade this. I remember I sold this a little while back. I want it back. I'll take it. 33 38s. Taking a little bit of Intel. See if I can get a little pullback even in the day trade. 33 31s right now. Look interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking around. I don't see anything right now. The CTMX popping through 166 is about the only setup I see right now.
All right. Trying to get it here. Ooh. Wrong one. There we go. Got it. Long there at 33 30s. So boom, boom. Let's see what happens here. Got Intel at 33 30s. I'm going to hold off kind of like the 25 spot here. See if it can go right back up there. So I'll show you guys that trade, how it looks. So even on the prop, I took a little bit, took it also on the swing, looking for that move right back up there towards the 33.45s, and then really starts to push. I'd look at the hourly chart for the next move up. That's a push towards 33.60. So a nice little 30-cent move. I can see that kind of pushing up, top reward. risk 10 cents, get 30 cents higher. Let's see what happens.
News that ESPN is going to lay off more people, including top talent.
Yeah, the big thing there is that they figured out one thing is that they don't need the top, like, let's say the top athlete to be talking about sports, right? I think they're finally realizing that. That's actually not a bad realization, at least in the long run.
I think they're in trouble.
Well, they are in trouble, but this is a good move there to stop being like, oh, I need the NFL athlete to talk about the analytics. The truth is, there's a lot of normal guys, like sports guys that love and talk about sports, probably just as good as an athlete, right? Let's just be honest. There's some stat guys out there. Oof.
Still waiting on the SCOTUS decision, I believe.
There's Intel right back up above the VWAP, so that's looking good for me. Ooh, Palantir, 1550. Kind of like it here. Get 48. Pull back for Moo Moo.
Yeah, agree, Jay. Totally agree.
All right, order out for Palantir 48s, but it's already at 55. Was just struggling there. Didn't have my code already inputted there, so it took me a little second there. It's already there to 54. Going to look for a little bit of a pullback here to get in on Palantir. Order out to get in at 48. It's at 57 now, though. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. It's already just pushing without me. So Palantir already kind of taking a little bit of lift. I was looking for this little move here, but slow to react there on the entry there. So I'll look for pullbacks to see if I can get in here. But Palantir, let me see if that can go higher. Q's holding up here. AMD is one that I'm thinking about again. If I do take AMD, I'll hold to like a 10-cent risk.
God, BXRX, what a massive move. What a massive move.
All right, looking at AMD to take some of that, but it's got to be really careful with that one. A hardy jump there. Holy crap, AMD jumps fast. Look at that, man. Wasn't able to be fast enough there, guys. Let me see if I get a little pullback here, and then I can get it, but it was on the 45, and it jumped to like 55 in less than a second.
Which stock?
AMD. I'm just trying to grab it here off the 5-minute. I'll show you guys that right here.
BXRX is going to halt here.
BXRX going to get a little bit of action. There you go.
Looks like if it holds here at 1, I haven't seen the halt yet, but this is the halt level. There it is, halted. BXRX, what a spot, Crow. Good job. At least someone's crushing it today.
All right, holding off for right now. Still got Intel. Intel's moving higher. Palantir, no fill on the pullback. Looking for it, but no fill. Came back to 53s. Yeah, that's probably not going to come back to fill me, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Now we're pushing towards 58. Can we get to the 60s here? Push a little higher. Palantir with a nice little move there. AMD with a little bit of a quick pullback here.
RMTI going higher.
Yeah, you can see the 15-minute chart showing a little bit of a pullback on AMD. I'll look for that 113.10 area again. 113. See if it just holds on a 5-minute chart, but I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart.
Which chart is it that you have up?
So there's
Okay.
this one here, and so you see here AMD 5-minute. It's just I'm also looking at Palantir trade on the right hand side there. So we'll look to see if this goes through 1370s, 1390s. But the 5-minute has a nice little pattern there, right? I mean, everyone can see that. I was just also starting to switch towards like a 15-minute, and then I could see this outlook, and then I'd look for a pullback towards that 9 EMA area, like 113.18, something like this, and then coming back around. But it looks strong right now. We'll look to see if it gets through that level. Intel not looking too bad too. I'm in the green on that one. Looking to see this come up towards the 40s and then keep pushing into the 50s. This one I like off the daily chart too. So especially if we could start holding kind of the 1331s and really starting to push. Good thing is I'm in at 1330s, above that level where I want to see it hold now, or below that level. Apps getting a nice little push, man. What's going on in apps? Digital Turbine getting a nice little push. Is this an AI mention? This looks like a nice little push there in apps. I don't know anything about apps though. That's the only thing. All right, let's get to the other chart here. Palantir up there to 1560s. Definitely a miss there for me, guys. Maybe should have just took the 1540s. I looked at it. I liked the trade, but definitely a miss there on the execution. It's up there to the 1564s. We'll look to see if it gets there towards 1575, 1580s. It's one thing that I'm looking at. SPY overall, just staying up here towards the 443s. Looks like it wants to push it again here. It's still like holding the 9 EMAs. Qs are holding here still. NVIDIA still pushing, man. Still pushing, man. Should have bought that NVIDIA in the pre-market, man. I looked at it for a second there, but I didn't want to interrupt pre-market prep. But 412.50s, I had a chance to buy in the pre-market. That would have been nice, man. Up there towards 423s. That's a nice little 2.6% run there in NVIDIA. AMD looks like it wants to get a little bit higher. Will it get that little push? It's trying. Google looks like a good chart there also. Meta takeoff, man. It is a melt up rally type of day. At least it's been like that all morning long. We'll see if it stays like that. Eric AK pushing right back to the upside here. So keep your eyes on certain names like that. That looks strong. Twist, diagnostics and research stocks starting to get a lift.
All right, SCOTUS decision is out.
All right, what do we got? What do we got?
I think that they, I can't find it yet. Maybe Nick has it. Nick, you got a bomb for us?
All right, SoFi jumped there to 922. It's back here towards 887s, just pulled back below 9s. Be careful out there. That's taking a hit here. But I'm looking for maybe a little bit of an entry here and maybe taking a shot on SoFi. But
SoFi is going lower here. I'm seeing the High Court rejects the first of 2 challenges to the Biden loan plan. Looks like there's 2 rulings here.
All right, just got in SoFi long on the Moomoo account, 880s there, 880s there. It's already going lower, so I got to be careful here, guys. All right, got
oh my God,
850s as
BXRX.
the out. If I get hit here, I'll get hit at the 850s. I went in there with just 15 shares, but don't want to take
SoFi is
it.
going to halt down here.
Oh, it halted down on me, man. Oh, you guys saw me take the shot. Take the shot. They got the halt down on me, guys. I'm in the down halt there. Not what I wanted to see there, but hey, at least Intel's going higher. Oh, man, that was a tough one. I was looking for the bounce. We'll see what happens. I got to cancel my trade right now. It's got to be smart here when SoFi opens up. It's probably going to be a 5-minute halt. All right, got to set up here and see what type of hit we're looking at for where we could get out here. If I do 40s, let's see how that would look there. All right, that seems fine there. We can go down towards a trigger price of 40 and a 38. That's still 630 loss there. When this opens up, I need to make sure that we don't just get a quick little tank through that level and then a move right back up. But just got to keep a close eye on it here for the Moo account. Make sure that I don't lose. Make sure nothing over 8. But we'll see what happens here. $6 loss will still be really minimal. Lucid breakout. No worries, Matt. It's okay. I'm actually not stressing because I went in with a really small size. Like, I could have gone in this account on a buy there with 50 shares and like 60 shares. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. I would have like ruined the risk to reward ratio here and then just completely knocked myself out of it. So I came in, I think, with the right share size. All right, we'll look to see if AMD can go higher here. It is pulling back a little bit here. Did we get a pullback in the market because of this? That's one thing that I kind of think about. It is pulling back right now. One that just got some volume also input into it, SLM. SLM. Keeping a close eye on SLM today. I want to see if this starts to climb. All right, we'll see when SoFi reopens here.
Yeah, I'm seeing through the news here. Actually, Nick just tweeted it. Shout out, Nick, if you can hear. Supreme Court throws out Biden's student loan relief plan.
I'm not actually happy with that because I mean I would take that in a heartbeat.
I paid all my student loans back the old-fashioned way, so unless I'm getting a mortgage credit,
you could get whatever credit you want, my friend.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm trying to go through the release. I do have it up. It's about 19 pages. And so Justice Alito actually delivered the opinion. And I was just able to try and get this up really quickly. It says, before the plan took effect, however, various plaintiffs, including respondents here, sued to enjoin it. Basically, what they're trying, the opinion of the court of what they're trying to say here is basically, and the AP basically alluded to this, that they blocked it, and so the Supreme Court blocked, and it's so you cannot get any more money, basically delivering up to $20K. We saw SoFi that was halted. There was another stock, according to Pro, that was halted. I think it was Bodex Bio, Intensity Therapeutics, not on IPO security, but there's a lot of volatility out there.
Yeah, sure
SoFi
is.
still halted, still trying to see when that will reopen. The Supreme Court, according to Benzinga Pro, you can go find this. It says the Secretary of Education does not have authority under the Higher Education Relief Opportunities for Students Act of 2003 to establish a student loan forgiveness program that will cancel roughly $430 billion in debt principal and affect nearly all borrowers.
So here is that piece of news right in Benzinga Pro. Good eye, Nick. Thank you much.
Man, the Supreme Court lately, man. Oh, man. If they wanted to get controversial, they did that one. They put themselves back in the limelight, that's for sure.
They voted 6-3.
So 5, by the way. What a spike on SoFi.
Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's go, team. Let's go. I thought it was positive for SoFi. That's why I went for a buy. We're up there to 930s. All right. Got to set the stop in here just for if things come back. But 938 will be my out if this comes back. I'm setting the stop at 838. 838. I'm just gonna let this ride, guys. Let's see what happens, guys. SoFi, baby, long from what I got there, 880s. We're up there to 930s. Let's go. 940s.
Just
on
just
the
scalp
upside.
SoFi on that move through the highs.
Oh, SLM is one that I want to go into here. Also here, this is a little bit different type of trade, but I'm going to take the shot there on that. Ooh, I could also go for SoFi in this account, the prop account. Ooh, SoFi pulled back here to 9 really quickly, guys. Just be careful out there, guys. It's wicked. You got to be able to manage.
You got to be fast with that.
Yeah, you got to be fast with that one, man. Ooh, it's moving. She's a moving, that's for sure.
I was gonna say major averages are holding up pretty well.
Yeah, they sure are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ryan, I don't know what was your thinking behind that you thought they were gonna pull back here a little bit when that decision came out?
Say it again.
What was your decision? You're saying you think that the S&P was going to sell off a little bit?
Yeah, because if they throw the forgiveness out, someone in the chat actually said it. If they throw the forgiveness out, they're likely to suck money out of the economy. And so I'm thinking that the market is going to react to that. However, you're absolutely right. The averages, at least so far, have held kind of where they are. I know we're off the highs a little bit here, but for the most part, it's held in. Really, the action here is with SoFi. I mean, let's be honest. SoFi is all over the map. We went down and halted below 860, then traded all the way up to 941. Now we're down here at 870. This thing's all over the place.
All right, guys, taking a little bit in the prop account long there at 9 right there. Going to risk off the 870s. So the prop account there. Still got Intel in that one, but taking also a little bit of shot there. Of course, still got it in the Moo. That's the 830 stop out, but for the prop, it's at 870. We'll see if this can come right back up through the 9s and maybe make a run there to 10. I have no idea where this is going, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to, but given the day that I've had here today, it's probably best if I don't trade this name. Maybe look for something else.
I'm a degenerate, guys. I can't help myself.
Well, but Mitch, but that's fine. I mean, here's the other thing. So after taking a pretty big loss right out of the gate here, if I take this, my emotions are not going to be where they normally are. And now that being surrounded by a stock that's up and down and back and forth, probably smarter for me and safer for me to just not play SoFi right now. I already scalped, it once for a little bit through the highs, but forget it.
Yep. That's how it is, man. Yeah, I'll take a shot there, but
Dave hitting it right on the head here. It's just pure game. That's how I feel about trying to trade this right now. And as a result, I should probably just stay away from that. I'm gambling on the golf.
I mean, every trade's a gamble, baby. Every trade's a gamble.
I was going to say, we do have a reaction from the White House. There's a statement that was just released, and it says, POTUS today, quote, will make clear he's not done fighting yet on new student loans and will announce new actions to protect student loan borrowers today.
I said the other day that Russia's losing the war in Iraq, so we'll see how that goes.
Out intel, guys. At the end of the day, this is just definitely a bet, right? Like, always understand whenever you take a bet, what do you first think about? What's my wager? What am I risking here? That's what matters in any trade, and that's the truth. I'll tell you guys that. But yeah, you want to have some edge. The way that I went off to try to have edge on this was VWAP. That's the only thing I could use. So I went off the VWAP, which was 9, and then just established risk to reward. That's what matters. If I would have came in this in SoFi in the prop account with like more than 100 shares, it would have been too much risk. So I came at this with like 100 shares, which I knew I could risk about 30 cents there. So I risked about 30 cents, set a stop there at 870. And then just let it work here. We'll see what happens, right? We don't know. We never know in a trade. The only thing that I could think of is, at least from the news here, this should be positive for SoFi. Why? Because some people were choosing not to pay back their loans that are to SoFi, which are private loans, because they're like, well, what the hell? How do the public loans just get forgiveness, right? Then why would I pay my SoFi loans? So they think that, at least speculation would think that, SoFi would make more money if this would not go through, because those people would be like, well, definitely got to go back to paying back my loans now because I'm not going to win that battle in court. Well, there you guys see it. We'll see what happens. Russia losing the war. Oh, my God.
Like I said, let's just take everything said with a grain of salt. Focus on the decisions. Focus on the things that are actually real.
Yeah, that's the hard part. We'll see if SoFi does a little takeoff here. I still got it in the Moo account, guys, up about 450 in the Moo. Will this be a big winner or a normal size hit on the Moo account? And that's why I'm okay with it, right? Because regardless of what happens here, it's either going to be a nice little party or it ain't. Let's see what it'll be. But I feel like it might just be a party. Nick got invited to the party today, baby.
Nick brought the party with him. Forget invited. Nick literally brought the party. Nick showed up. He's the guy that shows up with the cooler, and when you open it and you think there's going to be beer in there, it's like every hard liquor bottle you could imagine.
Nick, welcome, man. Let's do it, man. We'll see what else is going on out there, team. What do you guys take a look at? All right. I see the chat getting fired up on SoFi today. So, I can't blame you. It's a fired up conversation.
Nick, you were asking me about my thesis for the market going down. So I told that to you earlier. I got a text from a trader friend of mine who's been an active trader for 40 plus years, private equity veteran, knows the markets inside and out. Said the market should have gone down on that. Stupid, dumb. So we'll see. We'll see where we go. It's still early.
It's still early.
Oh,
remember,
man.
Monday is a shortened trading day. For people that don't know, markets close 1 p.m.
Yep.
I mean, we definitely pulled back at least to the VWAP with it.
And miraculously, I'm up off the lows on the day today. So I started off in a horrific position, but I'm looking a little bit better right now. Airbnb keeps coming back in. Maybe I can salvage this day.
Yeah, AMD was probably my best shot today to have a really decent day, and didn't stay in it, but it is riding higher. We'll look to see if it pulls back, but that actually looked pretty strong there. Made a move there towards 114. One thing to keep in mind here, the Qs haven't pulled back nowhere near as much as the SPY has. Look at the SPY, look at the Qs. Qs are still staying at the top of the range there, so be careful out there, team. See what happens here, team. Will I get the SoFi or will I get SoFi'd?
You'll get SoFi'd.
Yeah, I will. So fly or so fied?
So fly or so fried? That's funny.
Let's go. Let's go. We'll see. Ron said, took the NVIDIA at the open, hit the stop value at 425. My daily go. I'm out of here. Ron, you and I, man. Ron, you did it. I wanted to do it in the pre-market. That's how you do it, my friend. The first thing I came on when I came on here today, I said NVIDIA was definitely one of those that could have a really nice recovery type of day. Really nice recovery there on NVIDIA. That's how you do it, Ron. And I love one thing. You said you're done. You're out of here. Go enjoy that weekend, Ron.
I was going to say, Ron's weekend starts early. Ron, I think that you're out west, so it's probably, not even 8 o'clock there yet? You're done for the day for work on a Friday? Get ready to enjoy your weekend? Ron, I absolutely love that. Good stuff.
Raz saying it well. Ron, the GOAT in action here. Keep killing it, Ron. It's always good to see you in the chat, man. I appreciate your outlook.
Likewise.
There. All right, NVIDIA now pulling back off that 425. We'll look to see if that keeps going. SoFi has pulled back here towards the 880s. We'll see if it breaks down. Will it hold? Hey, who knows, man, to tell you the truth. If you know, please let me know. I need to know.
Market is pulling back here a little bit, but not a ton.
Kathy getting hit now, saying somebody in the chat. Yeah, she is. She's taking a little bit of a beat down here. The SPY pulling back below the VWAP now, closer towards 442. I'd look to see if maybe that bounces there. The Q's starting to pull back to the VWAP now. That's going to be giving some opportunities for VWAP opportunities. We'll see if that comes back.
I was just going to say on NVIDIA, Darwa, one of the research firms that not many people know about, that they really don't hear about.
Yeah, not too often.
There was a note this morning on NVIDIA that says, quote, our prior rating was due to concern of weak cloud and enterprise. What we got massively wrong was how successful and important generative AI would be to the world. They upped NVIDIA to buy. I think it's been for a sell or not a buy rating for quite a while. But, it's very interesting to see now people starting to come back into the market, all these research firms saying, we were wrong. Now we're going to up. But going back to the Apple, I don't know if anybody knows about the Citi. It was very interesting to see the Citi upgrade this morning. I don't even know if it was an upgrade. They just kind of initiated coverage. I don't know what happened to the analysts prior, but now all of a sudden they
got fired, Nick. That's what happened.
Well, because he probably didn't chase the price target like everybody else did.
if you're playing catch up and they give you a new analyst, well, you might know what happened to that prior analyst.
Well,
no,
isn't that with
I don't know if he got fired.
Like they're all playing catch up now.
Yeah, that's one thing to always catch, right? Especially when one of the major firms does it first, Nick. That's what I look for all the time. Like, is this J.P. Morgan? Is this Goldman Sachs? Goldman Sachs analysts, when they hit them, oh man, they just start following. And I think that's one thing that all of us can look at, right? And when you see analysts following the price action, following the fundamentals, right? Because they thought the fundamentals were showing something else. That's when you're going to get the biggest upside reaction in a lot of stocks, because the analysts 3 months ago were saying, don't buy it. Now they're like, oh, no, we were wrong. And now you're getting that whipsaw type of action, right? And the big reason there is the fundamentals didn't look like they were great, and now are all of a sudden looking a lot better in the future. So future earnings matter more than earnings today. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I was going to say, watch Tesla too over the weekend. They could be reporting global deliveries this weekend at any time, I believe on Sunday. Just given the recent downturns in the different equity research markets. I think it was UBS, Goldman Sachs, and another firm that started the downgrade, but upping their price target. There was, according to Reuters, there's a estimate of around 445,000, I believe they think that their vehicles, when they report global deliveries this weekend. Still with the discounts, it's still very interesting to see the different reports from Electric, the Journal, Bloomberg, all how Tesla is still trying to lure people in with the different cutting costs of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 of the different models. I still think Tesla in the long term is still going to dominate market share with the EV and the hybrid and all of it. But it's still very interesting to see all these companies partner with Tesla saying, hey, can we add a charger? Can you have the chargers with us? I never expected that to happen, just because this EV hybrid charging stuff came on very quickly. And, it's going to be very interesting to see in the long term who dominates and who the major takeover will be. Is it going to be Ford, GM, Tesla? Is China doing the same thing? It's going to be very interesting to see, even the little players like NIO, XPeng, to see how they incorporate charging and everything else.
I agree, and I think it's something to keep in mind, right? That's why you guys are seeing, ChargePoint get such dumped on lately, and I think that, we thought that maybe the government by now would have really started giving money to these companies to really kind of build the infrastructure up. But what are we seeing? We're seeing the alternative right now. We're seeing the lazy boy method, I'll call it, which is, we'll just use whatever Tesla's using. Everybody, let's just switch to that so that we don't have to worry about doing all this infrastructure for the electric vehicles. So that's going to be the alternative right now versus building, which is what's really needed. I think at the end of the day, what we need is, when you go to the gas station, there's to the right of the gas pumps, right? You see 4 or 5 different charging stations, not just one. You know what I mean? And that's what I normally see at gas stations. What do you normally see? You see one little charging station. One. I mean, let's just be honest. If we all got to charge our vehicle, are we going to be waiting around 20 minutes for that guy to finish charging so that I could wait another 40 minutes for my car to charge?
Yeah, no, is the answer to that.
No, that's just not going to happen, dude. That's not going to happen, bro. And so the truth is we got to be thinking about, where does the investment go? Because there's some money that's going to have to come from the government. Some people are thinking that Tesla's just going to get the money. And if Tesla gets the money, I mean, Tesla will be freaking $500, like they're like some people call it out, right? I mean, that's the one thing to keep in mind. And I think that, I mean, we know how the government sometimes likes to take the easier route. Would you give the money to the companies like ChargePoint, EVgo, Blink that are newer companies, or would you give it to the established company with the superchargers that Tesla has, right? Questions that we need to be asking ourselves for investments.
But it's going to be very interesting to see how they lure customers in, because an average American with inflation today and the prices, they just can't go out and buy a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crassy saying that Wawas have like 10 superchargers now, and they're all still await. Well, there you guys see it. I haven't seen Wawas in a while because that's more my Florida days, but man, I miss Wawas. All right, SoFi going lower stops me out there in the prop account. At least took a $30 hit there. It was just a little bit of a kind of a bet, right, to the upside. But and Moo, we're still in this, so we'll see what happens, right? I'm gonna stay in it for now, guys, and see if I can swing this even. If this gets back up there towards like 940s, 960s, I'll just keep holding SoFi for right now to see if it can go higher. I do like SoFi based on the daily chart also. And so if it can hold the 9 EMA here, which is around 861, close back above 9s today, it'll be looking good for a little bit of a trend line break eventually, 925s, 950s.
Mitch, I got to roll. Roll. Are we doing a show on Monday morning?
No show on Monday morning. I'm going to call it no show because it's just such a short trading period. I don't want people to be taking such big shots on days like that, Ryan.
Gotcha.
And I know how many traders get addicted to taking shots on the days where probably with low volume.
We'll see Ryan, you on Wednesday.
You enjoy it, my friend. Yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday. All right, Ryan's hopping out of here. It's about 10:57. We'll finish up with a little bit from Nick Brown. What do you think, man? Anything else come in since then, or we're just gonna stick with that and call it a wrap?
We can always stick to that and call it a wrap. You know, I'm heading out. I'm done at noon today on Friday. So once noon hits, we're closing the laptops. We're taking the early weekend.
Hey, you have fun on the 4th, my friend. Stay safe out there.
You too. I actually have to start preparing for a trip in about 2 weeks. Week of July 10th, heading back to New York. Gonna go to the New York Stock Exchange for a whole day. So I gotta start getting haircut appointments, packing the car, packing the luggage. I gotta get all freshed up. You know, gotta get new suits here.
I have a couple guys there in the New York Stock Exchange floor too, man. So holler at me, Nick. I'll definitely get you in touch with them. Maybe get you a little bit more of just a tour, get you to meet some really cool people. So let me know, Nick, and you can have some fun out there. And also, if you want to go check out the Rally Museum, I have a pretty good connection there. If you want to check out some collectibles, things like that, let me know, Nick. I always got you, my friend.
Thanks. I think we're staying, I believe, in the heart of Times Square, right by the NASDAQ. So I'm going to be down there for a day, heading up to the stock exchange, I believe, Tuesday, July 11th. Tuesday, July 10th, one of those days for a full day. You probably know him, Chief Global Strategist over at Freedom Capital Markets, Jay Woods.
Just Jay Woods, you know. Of course I know Jay Woods. That's one of my good friends, man. I'm actually hoping to one day get sponsored by Jay Woods for my CMT. So hopefully one day that happens. But definitely, yeah, say hi to Jay for me and let me know. I'll get you over to check out that Rally Museum. It's pretty cool. They got like a Jurassic Park kind of style, fossil, like from millions of years ago that you can come check out. So I definitely take a look at it. Have a good one, Nick. Always good to see you on today. And thank you for the Nick bombs, man.
No problem. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the long holiday weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and don't lose too much money.
Take care, Nick. All right, guys. You guys know Nick. He's interning here at Benzinga, but definitely give him a follow. Shout out there. We're going to go ahead and transition over here and bring you guys to All Access. Like always, check out Moo if you guys have seen it multiple times today. I'm still in the trade there on SoFi on Moo. And just for the purposes, you know, got to give a shout out one more time. A little Moo action for Moo brokerage out there. So definitely we'll see if SoFi can get a little bit of a lift later in the day, but that's going to do it for me. I'm going to have my friend Michael Murray jumping on here and taking over. Yeah, you guys get the deep voices taking over here. You guys know it. Get ready. You guys can't miss it. My man, Michael, what do we got today?
Hey, good to see you, Mitch. We are excited. We got a great show today with Cognition Therapeutics. Very exciting company. Actually, we were just able to get them scheduled for the show yesterday, so put everything together quickly. But they got some really exciting stuff coming our way. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it with Cognition. We're going to go ahead and roll the intro and get started here on All Access. Welcome in, Lisa Ricciardi. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Hi, Michael. Good morning. How are you?
Doing wonderful. It's great to have you here. I know we got this put together last minute and had you guys in very quickly. Very excited to have you on and great to be with Cognition Therapeutics this morning. Kick us off and give us a brief introduction to yourself as the founder, president and CEO of Cognition and what the company does.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. So I've been in life sciences my whole career. I've run teams, divisions, and companies. I was a board member for Cognition and then was asked to take the company over to raise money, which ultimately led to a public offering. Our work is about CNS related, central nervous system related degenerative disorders, specifically Alzheimer's disease, dementia with Lewy bodies. We have early work in Parkinson's disease, and we're also studying a condition that leads to blindness, and it's in the back of the eye. It's called dry age-related macular degeneration. That's a mouthful. But importantly, our lead program is an oral drug. So a lot of people have heard about the great breakthroughs that are finally coming from Biogen, Eisai, Lilly. Finally, there are some drugs out there for patients with Alzheimer's disease. In our case, we have a small molecule, that is to say a pill or tablet. So something different in the market. That's what we're working on, hoping to make a dent in this huge condition.
Terrific. Now that we have the intro too, I want to dive right into it and talk a little bit about the sequel trial top-line result. Can you give us some of the updates, first of all, about what the sequel trial is meant to accomplish, and secondly, what's so significant about these results here?
Great. Yeah, happy to do so. So the top-line results showed that we were able to have an impact very quickly. The way our drug works is it gets rid of the toxic part of the plaques, and the question is, how quickly will that be seen in patients? Everyone knows that Alzheimer's is a long, slow disease, Michael. And in this case, we thought, all right, how quickly does our drug work? And what we saw in these 4 weeks was patients having behavior changes, not behavior changes, changes in EEG patterns that were in the direction of normalization. So healthy people have alpha and beta waves, and they're fast, right? When you get Alzheimer's disease and other conditions, the waves slow down considerably. And what we saw in study after study endpoint that we measured, a move towards the normalization. It's pretty impressive to think that in a short period of time, we could impact underlying disease like that.
100%. And I want to also talk about the market opportunity for this as well, right? As you mentioned, macular degeneration, it's a huge condition affecting millions of people. And of course, as you guys look to make progress here, not just on the side of things that's going to impact people's lives positively, but what's the market opportunity for a trial like this and a drug like this as you're creating what you're creating? What does the market opportunity look like as you go down the road here?
It looks substantial, right? So Alzheimer's disease in the US, you're talking about 6 million people. They're not all going to get treated, and they progress over time. So there are people who are okay today, and in a year or two, they're not going to be okay. They're not going to be independent anymore. That's 6 million people. On the ophthalmology condition we're going after, it's actually over twice the size of Alzheimer's disease. It's actually hard to imagine how large it is. Now, we're studying a narrow portion of that condition as a way to start. But today, people get treated with injections called intravitreal injections, effectively a shot in your eye. And as I said at the beginning, Michael, we're working on a tablet. Capsule today, a tablet when we launch. And the idea is it'll be a lot easier for people to stick with therapy to prevent blindness. That's the goal. So small company, big markets.
Absolutely. Are there any slides that you want to go through in this deck that you've already showed us here as we pulled up that IR deck specifically to walk through any of the details?
Sure. Why don't, if you pull it up, I can click through it. You had, somebody was.
Yeah, we'll pull it up on our side. Yeah.
Great. Yep, keep going and I'll tell you when to stop. So this is the design of the study. It was a short study, 16 patients, 8 in each side. You can go to the next slide. Patients first were on drug, and then they were on placebo. So the patients were compared to themselves. You can go to the next slide. Effectively, what we were looking at was safety and tolerability first, and then top-line findings from the EEG. Go ahead. Go ahead. Those are our subjects. Safety, this drug was very consistent in this study with all of our other studies. You can see those findings here. Go to the next slide. Thank you. Now, this is really important, Michael. We're a small company, and we've been working with grant funding of $170 million over the year. High quality science getting funded over and over again. And what have we learned? There's a number of things here. You measure amyloid by a certain type of imaging. Then there are biomarkers that people study to look at, are we impacting the disease? Are we hitting our target? There are anatomical changes. We've seen with our drug that it stops, shrinks, slows down brain atrophy. As you age, your brain shrinks. And what we were able to see measurably is an impact on that. We measure cognition by using various types of tests and raters to study it. So here, we were so pleased because this is something, yet again, neurophysiology, EEG imaging, adding to the line of evidence that we have about how our drug works. Go ahead to the next slide. Please, as I said earlier, alpha and theta waves move quickly, and as you can see in the second bullet point, that's what you have sitting there right now, Michael. And if you and I get older and we have Alzheimer's disease, you'll see theta waves or delta patterns. And you can see on that illustration, they're slower, bigger oscillations. Go ahead. Keep going. So here's a quick snapshot. What we wanted to measure was when you take the toxic portion of the plaque off the synapses, does the synapse return to healthy functioning? And in effect, we saw that consistently across the study. The first chart says theta power. Remember I said theta waves are what you see a preponderance of in AD? Well, they were dropping when the patients were taking drug, moving towards normalization. When you look on the end, alpha power, that's what healthy normal people have, that was increasing. And then in the middle, a really interesting finding, you know, your brain, parts of your brain talks to each other. And this is a measure of what we call connectivity, which is the ability of parts of the brain to connect. Again, in dementia, other CNS diseases, you lose those capabilities. And yet here we saw moving in the direction of normalization. I think there's one or two more slides we could talk about briefly. What we were really happy was this was the overall, what we were after, theta power. I showed you those big sort of lazy curves, right? The theta waves. And what this said as our primary endpoint was, are we improving this? And the answer is yes. It's going in the right direction. Now, we did see the market had a negative reaction because this was not statistically significant. The truth is we had 16 patients in 4 weeks. There were other studies done with much larger number of patients and for 12 weeks, and our results were very consistent with those. I must tell you, Mike, when we got this data, we were thrilled because, as I said, we have evidence, preclinical studies, studies in mice, early studies in human, studies in blood and serum and brain and cognition. And this was one more indication to us that our drug can impact this disease. We're so excited about the trials we're running and the ability, a year from now is when we anticipate our trials to read out. To think we could come to the market with something pretty easy for patients and their caregivers to take, it's unbelievable. You probably don't even know a person who says, oh, I don't know anyone with Alzheimer's. Everywhere I go, you hear this from people. It's scary. And so to think that we have something that could make a dent in that condition, we're over the moon, I have to tell you. So this was an exploratory study. It is directional. It adds to what we know. And we're really pleased. We're so pleased with this.
Outstanding. No, it's really exciting news. And I think you hit on a very important point there where almost everybody that you talk to on a daily basis and anybody that you meet has somebody in their lives that has had an experience with Alzheimer's or is getting to that point where they're going to be experiencing it. So the steps that you're taking here to make an impact in this space is truly impressive. As we wrap and as we start to close things down, I want to take a look ahead into the future. This is a very common point for every company that we talk to on All Access. But as you look at the next couple of quarters here, wrapping up Q2 in just a couple of days, coming into a holiday weekend, and then starting Q3 here, As you look at the rest of this year and moving forward into 2024, what does that 6-month and 12-month time frame look like in terms of significant events? What
Yep.
should investors be looking for from Cognition? What should we be on the lookout for?
Right. Great question, Michael. As we wrap up this year, the 6 months, our goal is in 2 of our 4 trials to finish recruiting, to get all the patients in. And I'm pleased with how we're doing on those trials. One is for Alzheimer's disease and one is for another condition called dementia with Lewy bodies. They're similar in some ways. 12 months from today, I'm going to come back on your show and say, Michael, we finished the trials, we're analyzing the data, and we are now preparing for our end of phase 2 meeting. We want to go to the FDA. We're going to go to the capital markets to raise money to run our phase 3 program. For us, the year ahead is just so exciting to finish the trials, unblind the results. And then there are 2 paths. Do you work with a drug company as a partner? Do you go to the capital markets? There's probably a lot of things in between. But to be able to show the clinical community, the scientific community, the investor community, and patients this new opportunity, that is so gratifying. So really eager to come back here a year from today and chat with you.
Well, we're even more excited for that. And Lisa, it's been our pleasure to host you here this morning, hearing about the sequel trial and everything else that you're working on into space. Truly impactful work. We're grateful to you and everything that you're doing, and we're certainly excited to see what comes next. Lisa Ricciardi, President and CEO of Cognition Therapeutics, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well. Lisa Ricciardi there, President and CEO of Cognition, traded on the NASDAQ as CGTX. Great to have them on. And of course, we want to thank everybody for tuning into Benzinga All Access. Thank you for joining Zunaid and Mitch and the boys every morning on the live trading show. And of course, this morning as every other day. Look forward for everything else on Benzinga.com, Benzinga's YouTube, and all the rest of our channels. And everybody have a fantastic 4th of July weekend.